Then I'll wrap them in some oh my gosh. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and in today's video I'm sharing my Aldi grocery haul with you guys. I just ran there and picked up a decent amount of things, some new stuff that I'm pretty excited about. There were a few things that I didn't actually scan in store for points to see how much they are, and now I've been scanning everything. Some were a little bit higher than I expected, but I'm excited to try out some new things, and I'll just be sharing them today along with the WeightWatchers points, the nutrition, and I'll pop the nutrition labels on the screen, and then I'll just be talking about how I incorporate these items to stay on track with my weight loss journey. I'm back in all-in mode on WeightWatchers, which is much more focused when it comes to tracking. You don't get weekly points, and it's really focused on prioritizing 0-point foods and making sure that you hit your fiber and protein targets for the day. So I got some different things that'll help me with that, just staying on track, being a little bit more focused lately, and let's just go ahead and get started talking about everything. So if you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I will also have the prices of each thing as I shop through the store at the end of this video, so you can check that out as well. But let's go ahead and start talking through some of the produce that I got today. We needed some romaine lettuce for sandwiches, and honestly I've been craving salads. I always talk about how I go through phases. I'm not a big salad eater, but when I crave them I try to take advantage of it, and especially now with 0-point foods being even more prioritized, I want to make a big salad with some hard-boiled eggs. I've really been craving that again, so I got some romaine for those different reasons. Like I said, also sandwiches, tacos, burgers, even rice bowls. It's nice to have sometimes. I'm planning on making some salsa, so I'll probably use some of that for a rice bowl as well. Then like I said, I'll be making some salsa, and specifically I've been craving corn salsa. So I got cilantro, and then I make the corn salsa using canned corn, which I also bought today. I'll just skip to that really quickly. I just get 2 cans of it. It's sweet corn, and it's 0 points on WeightWatchers. I'll strain it out and add it to the cilantro, some jalapeno, and some red onion, and then it's kind of like a copycat version of chipotle corn salsa. It's a recipe that's in my cookbook and something that I love to make in a big batch so that I can use it for a bunch of different things, whether it's tacos or bowls or burritos. It's just one of my favorite things to have. So I'm excited to make a batch of that. It's been a while since I have. And then actually, like I mentioned, I use red onion, and I don't have any of that, so I had to get a bag of some red onions. So I'll use one for the salsa and then the rest just for different meals. I actually need to make a new veggie mix, so I'll use a red onion for that, because the past few times with my veggie mix I've been doing yellow onion. It's nice to just be able to mix it up. Even though it's something as small as the type of onion I use, it does change up the flavors and help me just have variety and not get burnt out. But then I also got some jalapeno peppers that I'll be using for that salsa as well. I won't use all of these. The rest of them I'll again use for different dishes. Sometimes if I make like enchilada bakes, I like to slice up jalapenos and just put them on top. And I'm getting really excited as it starts to warm up for our garden to start up again, and I really want to do jalapeno peppers this year because I got so many last year. They were so good, and I just started incorporating them into a bunch of different meals, even like pasta dishes. I made a jalapeno popper pasta, and it was one of our favorite meals to have. Also, sometimes I stuff them with tuna and wrap them in bacon. It's similar to an appetizer we really like from one of our favorite sushi places. So anyway, I got some jalapenos for different things like that, and the red onions. I actually didn't need bell peppers this time. This might be one of the first hauls that I didn't actually get bell peppers in. That's something I buy all the time, because not only do I use them for veggie mix, which I prep ahead of time to add to different meals, but I also use bell peppers for a lot of quick and easy dinners that I throw together, whether it's a pasta dish or a rice bowl or tacos or fajitas. I'll quickly cook up some peppers, whether it's on the stove or I roast them in the oven, and then it's nice to be able to add them to meals. I feel like they go with a lot of things. But I did need some more zucchini for my veggie mixes, so this is just a 3-pack they had, and I'll cut it up and mix it in with the peppers and onions. Or again, it's another vegetable that mixes in with a lot of meals really easily, especially pasta. I like to bulk up pasta dishes with the zucchini, so that's just a nice ingredient to always have on hand. I was happy to see they had these Simply Potatoes shredded hash browns. So they don't always have these at Aldi, but I really like to use these for egg scrambles in the morning. I'll start cooking these up and then maybe add some veggie mix or some bell pepper and let that keep cooking. And actually I got some mushrooms, so so I might even do that with my egg scramble. That sounds really good. These are 0 points on Weight Watchers, and I like to use them for eggs, like I said, and then like pizzas or pasta dishes. But anyway, I mix the hash browns with the veggies, and then after they cook for a little bit, I'll add in a protein, so maybe like chicken sausage or bacon, and then I'll add maybe some cheese, some eggs, and cook it all together, and it's just such a quick and easy breakfast to throw together. These are 0 points on Weight Watchers and 70 calories, and they've got 2 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber in that serving. Sometimes I'll do a little more. I also like to use these for egg bake, which I recently made in my Sunday reset, so I've actually still got some of that in the fridge, but I wanted to get another bag of this for more breakfasts. These grapes were giant today, but I love that Aldi has this multiple pack where it's like the perfect pairing. So you get some red and green grapes together, because I can never decide which one I like. I honestly like them both pretty much the same. I feel like maybe I prefer red grapes sometimes more. I like to be able to have both. Even when I make a snack plate, I'll do a couple of each. And it's just nice that they have the combo package like this. 0 points on Weight Watchers. I like to have them after breakfast or after lunch or with my lunch if I'm making a snack plate or a sandwich. So just a nice sweet thing to have when I'm craving something sweet, but I don't have a lot of points to use up. Of course, I got some apples, and today these are actually Honey Crisp. I've been getting Cosmic Crisp every time, but these ones looked really good. 0 points on Weight Watchers, and something that I have every single day after I finish my dinner. It is so weird how routine it's just become, and as I'm cooking dinner every day, I pull my apple out of the fridge, and then I just have it ready for right after I finish my dinner, and after I take my last bite of dinner, I just start eating my apple right away. It's just something that's helped me to stay on track, get a little extra fiber, and satisfy my sweet tooth right after I finish eating, because I always crave something sweet after I have something salty. So it's a nice option that fills me up a little more before I have my dessert. I got some bananas for protein shakes, bowls of cereal, and we actually have some back there, but they're just way too green. So I got more today because then we can eat these now. And then if any of them start to go bad, which I kind of like when that happens, then I'm more likely to make some banana bread or something like that. So even when I buy too many, it works out well, because I'll either use them to bake something or I'll cut them up and freeze them, and we can use them for protein shakes later. So even if we have too many bananas, they never go bad because I'll end up using them for something. I also got some of these mini potatoes. So these are little yellows, 0 points on Weight Watchers. There are 6 servings in here of 4 to 5 potatoes, and that serving's 80 calories, 16 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And what I like to do with these is use them for breakfast bowls or sides with a protein for dinner. So maybe we're having salmon or burgers. It's a really nice 0 point side dish that I can incorporate. They also just work well as a base for bowls, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But I like to roast them in the oven or grill them, although our grill isn't set up yet. So what I'll do usually is toss them in some olive oil spray, some seasoning, and roast them in the oven. Or if I'm cooking them in the air fryer, I'll microwave them first, because then they get a little bit softer faster. And then when they crisp up in the air fryer, the middle gets cooked as well. These are a nice option that I haven't gotten in a while, but I really do enjoy them as a simple side dish. And usually I'll just make the whole bag at once, and then we'll have leftovers that are easy to reheat. I got some of these tomatoes. So what I like to do with these is also roast them or cook them in the air fryer. And then after I do that, I toss them with some pasta, and it makes a lightened up like tomato sauce that isn't too heavy, but it adds good flavor. And once you've roasted them, they just kind of fall apart when you mix them with the pasta. So it does become kind of saucy, especially with a little bit of cheese and some seasonings. I like to do like a garlic parmesan seasoning with it. But what I do first is I just spray them with some nonstick olive oil spray, or even toss them in olive oil, add some seasonings. Sometimes I'll add balsamic, and then I roast them in the oven and they're ready to mix with the pasta. But 0 points for these, and that's probably what I'll use these for. Then sometimes I'll use them with pasta salad when I make like a cold pasta salad, or they also work well mixed in eggs. Okay, a couple more canned produce items. So I showed the corn. I also got some fat-free refried beans. These will be nice for some enchilada bakes. I'll make some type of protein, whether it's chicken or ground chicken or turkey taco meat. Then I'll wrap them in some high fiber tortillas with some of these fat-free refried beans. Usually I just take them out of the can and mix them with some different seasonings and maybe some taco sauce to give them some flavor. But they are 0 points, 100 calories for a half cup, 18 carbs, 5 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of protein. It is nice that they're 0 points. They make meals more filling, and they go really well with burritos or enchiladas like that. And I'm excited to have these. I feel like it's been a while since I've made refried beans like this. Then I also got some tomato paste, which I'll use for for pizza bakes or tomato sauce for pasta. Usually I'll just mix it with some water or chicken stock. You could also do chicken bone broth to add more protein, but I'll make a sauce out of it by making it a little bit thinner, adding some seasonings, and then it's just quick and easy and ready. I don't have to use any pre-made sauces. A lot of the times the jars of tomato sauce or pizza sauce have added sugar, so I try to stay away from those and just use canned tomato sauce or tomato paste to make my sauces for pizzas and pastas. And then I got a couple bags of frozen fruit. So I really like Aldi's frozen fruit. I feel like it's one of the best ones that I get. And I use these for my yogurt bowls. So the first one I've got is this berry medley, which has strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And then I also just got a bag of the strawberries because these are always just so good. And sometimes I like to mix it up. It does make a difference. So I'll take my bowl and heat up a serving of the frozen berries in the microwave. And then I mix it with some yogurt and some cereal or granola. Sometimes if I have extra points, I'll add a drizzle of peanut butter or some dark chocolate, but I just really like to use berries as the base. I've tried other fruits. I like mango and peaches and stuff, but it's definitely different using the berries because I just prefer that flavor, especially mixed with the sweetness of like the peanut butter cereal I use or like cinnamon cereal. I just feel like it always goes really well together. 0 points on Weight Watchers and just a nice option that I always have in the freezer now. I am about to finish my bag from Sam's Club, which I feel like I went through pretty quickly, but I use it pretty much every night when I make a yogurt bowl. Okay, I really like the pineapple poblano guacamole, but this time I decided to try a different one. This is just their chunky guacamole. It's a bigger container and it's the same amount of points. It's 1 point for the serving of 2 tablespoons, 40 calories, 3.5 grams of fat. It's got 2 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 1 gram of protein. And I think I was just really craving like tacos and that type of food when I was at the store today because I kept just grabbing things to make those types of meals. And that's what I was thinking when I bought this guacamole. I really just wanted to do some type of like tortilla roll-ups, maybe with the corn tortillas that I got, which I'll show in a minute. But I was thinking maybe like some flautas or some enchilada bakes like I already mentioned, but all of those things would be good with some guacamole, even like nachos. I was really craving this and that's why I picked this up this time. I also got this for that same reason. This is a mild avocado tomatillo salsa. We've tried this before and really liked it, and I think it'll be good mixed with some chicken. Actually, I was thinking about mixing it with the rotisserie chicken that I got because I just made chicken salad with shredded chicken, so I wanted to do something different, but I usually grab this when I go to Aldi. This is their rotisserie seasoned pulled chicken breast. So I thought maybe mixing these two things together and then using it as a filling for enchiladas would be really good. Or this would just work as a sauce on top of the enchiladas. It's 15 calories for 2 tablespoons and 2 carbs and 0 points on Weight Watchers. And this one isn't too spicy, it's mild. So I also like that. Then really quick, the chicken that I got. So this is 0 points, 110 calories, 3 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 18 grams of protein. And actually, technically, I think this scans as points. It does have olive oil as the last ingredient. I just always track it as 0 because it's chicken breast and that just works for me, but you could definitely decide what you want to do with it. I like to use this for chicken salad the most, but like I said, I've already got some made, so if I don't use it for that, I use it to make some type of buffalo chicken recipe. I'll just add some buffalo sauce, maybe some Laughing Cow, or I will use it as a filling in tortillas like I mentioned, whether it's like the high fiber tortillas baked in the oven with some sauce as like enchiladas, or with the corn tortillas. I make them almost into like taquitos where they get nice and crispy, so that was the other thing I was thinking with this. I've also used it for pasta. Moving on to the rest of the proteins that I grabbed today. So I got some turkey pepperoni. This is 2 points for the serving. Sometimes I'll just use a 1 point serving if I'm making a pizza because things can add up quickly with 2 ingredient dough and cheese and all that. So usually 1 point is a good amount, but for 16 slices, it's 2 points, 70 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, and 10 grams of protein. And mostly I use this for pizza bakes. If I'm doing a pizza recipe, whether it's like a calzone, or sometimes I'll even use like a wheat pita and make a quick pizza, this pepperoni is nice to have on hand. I got some Crocus ham, which is 1 point for the serving on Weight Watchers, which is 2 slices. Sometimes I'll just do 1 slice for 0 points if I'm making a quick breakfast. Like I mentioned, those breakfast scrambles. Sometimes I'll add multiple proteins, so I'll do like a slice of this for 0 points and then maybe like a chicken sausage or some bacon. But I mostly use this ham for breakfast recipes. I like to do breakfast sandwiches, and I've got 2 ingredient dough bagels, so that would be really good with some eggs and some of this ham. I also use it for the scrambles, or sometimes I'll just use it for a regular sandwich, but most of the time it's breakfast. It's 50 calories for 2 slices, 1 gram of fat, 1 carb, and 11 grams of protein. I really like this Aldi shrimp. I've gotten it multiple times and it's always been one of the best raw shrimps that I buy. It's just nice and fresh and tastes really good, especially in pasta. That's my favorite thing to do with shrimp, but I also like to cook it up and add it to poke bowls or any like sushi inspired meals. It is 0 points on WeightWatchers. This comes with about a pound. It's 90 calories for the serving of 4 ounces, 1 gram of fat, 1 carb, and 17 grams of protein. It's a nice 0 point food that's higher in protein and kind of easy to mix up the things that I do with it. I also like to use shrimp to make shrimp tacos. Then I got this big thing of chicken. So this is 4 pounds of chicken breast here. I like to cut it up into smaller pieces and then marinate it in the fridge, usually overnight. I'm finding that it tastes so much better if I actually let it sit in the fridge overnight, and then I'll cook it the next day. But it's 0 points on WeightWatchers and a nice high protein option. With a serving of 4 ounces, it's 140 calories, 4 grams of fat, and 25 grams of protein. And then I end up using the cooked chicken for so many different meals, whether it's pasta, a rice bowl, a wrap, or like tacos or something. It's just nice to be able to have this ready in the fridge and create a bunch of different meals from it. I grabbed a couple dairy items today. So the usual from Aldi, I really like their reduced fat cheeses. This is the Mexican style. It's 4 points for the serving of a 1/4 cup, 90 calories, 6 grams of fat, 2 carbs, and 7 grams of protein. I use this for pizza, for eggs, wraps, bowls, pretty much anything that I need shredded cheese for. This works well, even like tacos and stuff like that. So I just needed more of this. I've got some shredded light mozzarella cheese, but I'm out of the Mexican blend. And then I did actually get some mozzarella slices. These are 2 points per slice on WeightWatchers, and they work really well for sandwiches, or I really like to do like open face melts a lot of the time, whether it's with like tuna or even like a pizza sandwich melt. So that's when this cheese works really nicely. 2 points for a slice, 60 calories, 4 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 5 grams of protein. I did get a new dip today, which I thought it was gonna be 2 points looking at the nutrition. I should have just scanned it. It's 3 points on WeightWatchers, which isn't a huge deal, but I was thinking this might be really good as like a pasta sauce. It's a garlic rosemary dip. So it's a creamy cheese dip blended with garlic and herbs. It does say gluten-free. For the serving of 2 tablespoons, it's 3 points, 60 calories, 5 grams of fat, 3 carbs, 2 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. So it doesn't really sound like a dip that we would use much plain or just like with chips or crackers, but I think it'd be really good, like I mentioned, in pasta or even like a rice bowl, kind of like a tzatziki. That's what it looks like, but with a different flavor because it's more rosemary. So I'm curious to see how this is, how garlicky it is, but something new to try. Okay, another thing that I didn't scan, and I should have just scanned it because I don't know if I would have gotten these. Maybe they're worth it to just try once, but they had these protein pudding cups. They have vanilla and chocolate. I've never seen these before, but they are 5 points per cup on WeightWatchers. So I don't know if that's worth it for this size of a pudding cup, but we'll have to see. They're 120 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 23 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. I did check, it doesn't have much sugar in it, which is nice. It is sweetened with sucralose, and it's made with whole milk. So I'll have to see how these are. Might be something that we get every once in a while. 15 grams of protein isn't bad, so that's a nice option, but I'm excited to try these out. A couple drinks that I grabbed. So this is the 2% reduced fat chocolate milk that's also lactose free. I like to use this for creamies and protein shakes, although it is high point for the serving. It's 6 points on WeightWatchers for a cup. So for my protein shakes, I do like to do 3/4 cup of milk, which would be 5 points, and that makes them kind of a little bit higher point than I like to have them. That's why I prefer to use the low fat regular milk for those. And I really like to just use these for creamies. I feel like it's a little bit more of like an actual meal that I'm eating. It's more indulgent and it just works perfectly for them. So 140 calories for the cup and 6 points on WeightWatchers, 5 grams of fat, 13 carbs, 12 grams of sugar, and 14 grams of protein. I also got some cold brew for Adam. So he just likes to use this for his coffee in the morning. Sometimes he'll have it plain, sometimes he'll add some sweetener to it, or he'll even mix in a protein shake to make like a protein coffee. It is 0 points and it's just their unsweetened cold brew. 15 calories and 3 carbs for 12 ounces. Then I have been loving these. They are meant to be like the Fairlife protein shakes, but it's the Aldi brand Elevation, and I just love the flavor of them. Honestly, I've been using these even more for creamies because they taste like a vanilla milkshake, and I feel like they have the least amount of like that protein flavor that a lot of protein shakes have, which I feel like is just expected, but I just love the flavor of these ones the most. For the serving of one of them, it's 3 points on WeightWatchers, 150 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 3 carbs, 2 grams of sugar, and 30 grams of protein. And I use them for creamy recipes. I haven't tried them in like a blended protein shake, so I should definitely do that instead of like milk, but they'd also work for protein coffees, and Adam's actually used them with a bowl of cereal because we were out of milk, so he just used this instead and said it was really good. A couple pantry items. I just love this garlic salt from Aldi, so I got the big container of that. I use it for so many things, but my favorite thing to use it for is whenever I make 2-ingredient dough and it's like the turkey sausage bites or something where I can put something on top. A little sprinkle of this on top of things like that is so good. Or even when I make calzones, I'll spray some nonstick spray and then use this as a topper, and it is just so salty and delicious. It's got good flavor, but I use this mixed in a lot of different things when I roast veggies or potatoes and stuff. It's just something that I use all the time, so I always get the big one. I needed some peanut butter, so this is just their creamy peanut butter, unsweetened. It's gluten-free, and 5 points for the serving of 2 tablespoons. It's 180 calories, 15 grams of fat, 7 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 8 grams of protein. And I use this sometimes, like I mentioned, drizzled in my yogurt bowls, or if I'm doing different baking recipes and I want peanut butter, or if I'm doing a PB&J, I prefer to get this type of peanut butter that doesn't have a bunch of added sugar. It helps me be able to have the full like 2 tablespoon serving if I want. Although sometimes when I do a PB&J, 1 tablespoon is enough, but it is one of the ones that separates, so you have to make sure to mix it nicely. And I kind of like that better because then it's more runny, even for like apple nachos and stuff like that. I needed some panko breadcrumbs, which I use for like chicken meatballs or chicken burgers. It's just an ingredient that I add in, or sometimes I use it to bread things, whether it's like shrimp or chicken. So we just needed more of this. I pretty much finished up my container of it. And usually I just adjust how many points it is going to be based on how much I use. The serving of a 1/3 cup is 3 points on WeightWatchers. I got some quick oats, which are 0 points on WeightWatchers, and I use these for different baking recipes, whether it's like an oat bake with berries, or sometimes I use it for oatmeal. I feel like more so I use it for like cookies or different desserts, and I'm not a huge fan of just eating like a bowl of oatmeal, but every now and then I crave it, and I just needed more of these quick oats. They're 0 points on WeightWatchers, 150 calories, 2.5 grams of fat. They have 27 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of protein. I've mentioned in my recent hauls that I was trying to find some like caffeine packets that I could use to have as pre-workout before the gym. And so I got some from Walmart that I've been enjoying. Then I found these today, and 60 milligrams is actually like the ideal amount that I would want. So I'm excited to try these out and see how they are. This flavor is peach mango, 60 milligrams of caffeine, 5 calories, and no added sugar or anything. So you just mix it with 16 ounces of water, and I'll just be trying this before my workouts at the gym. Much cheaper than the other options that I was looking at and had been doing. I feel like with my pre-workout, it makes me kind of jittery, and I just don't always prefer that. I haven't found a brand that I really enjoy. So this will be a nice option for now. I needed some dark chocolate chips, again, for different baking recipes. I recently posted a video with some different lightened up desserts, and I used a lot of dark chocolate for that. So this one isn't as low of point as the one I used in that video because it was no sugar added, but it's still something that I incorporate, just regular dark chocolate chips like this, whether it's on my apple nachos, in a yogurt bowl, or to make different desserts. For the serving of 1 tablespoon, it's 70 calories, 4.5 grams of fat. It's got 9 carbs, 7 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of protein, and it's 4 points for the tablespoon on WeightWatchers. Okay, I mentioned the corn tortillas, so this is just El Milagro brand. These are 3 points for 2 of them, 1 point for 1 of them, and 4 points for 3 of them. And these are perfect for tacos, or like I mentioned, getting nice and crispy as like taquito flauta roll-ups. So I use them for that the most, and then sometimes I do like to cut them up and make them into tortilla chips as well. They get so crunchy in the air fryer, and I like that I can salt them myself. For 2 of them, it's 100 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 21 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 3 grams of protein. I also got some of these whole wheat flax and oat bran pitas. These These are only 1 point on WeightWatchers per pita, 70 calories, 1 gram of fat, 11 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of protein. And I love making just like open-faced flatbreads on them. So whether it's like a pizza with red sauce, turkey pepperoni, cheese, or artichokes, chicken, and tzatziki and feta, or sometimes I even use these to make peanut butter and jelly flatbreads. They're just so nice that they're only 1 point and they've got some extra fiber and protein in them. So I had to grab another pack of these. Then we haven't tried this yet, but I think it's meant to be like the good old version, or maybe it's kind of like the Bonza version of mac and cheese that they have. So we've got elbows with classic cheddar and shells with white cheddar. They are 7 points for the serving on WeightWatchers, and there's 2 servings in here. So that's for half the box, which actually isn't bad because usually when Adam and I split like a box of Goodles, it ends up being like 8, 9, or 10 points because there's 2.5 servings in a box. But just splitting this, it would be 7 points for the serving, 267 calories, 7 grams of fat, 39 carbs, 7 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and then the cheddar one has 15 grams of protein, the white cheddar one has 16 grams. But it's made with chickpea pasta, so it's a little bit higher in protein, a little bit higher in fiber, and maybe we'll save it for a snack review or something, but I'm curious to see how this is. Okay, a few more things. This is like one of the only freezer items I got, I guess, other than the berries. So these just caught my eye because I love like dumplings like this. They're vegetable momos, and honestly the picture is just making me hungry right now. They've got cabbage, potato, onion, beans, carrots, peas, cilantro, scallion, and tofu. So I'm excited to try them. It's 5 points for the serving of 5 of them. There's 10 in the bag, so half this bag is 5 points on WeightWatchers. 190 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 38 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and 6 grams of protein. So for this, I just had in mind having this with an appetizer night, which we like to do a lot, or this might just be good with some rice and chicken. I don't know how filling it'll be for 5 of them. They feel like they're kind of small, but you can pan fry them, steam them, or air fry them. And then just 2 snacks that I grabbed. So these are the pretzel slims. They are 3 points for the serving of 23 pieces on WeightWatchers, 110 calories, 24 carbs, a gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. I like to use these with my snack plates, so what I'll do the most is make some tuna, and then I'll just dip the pretzels into the tuna. Or when I make like a snack mix, if I'm craving pretzels, I really just like these because they're nice and salty, and I kind of like the mini ones more than the regular size ones. I just needed another bag of these, and then actually another pretzel item. These are the pretzel honey mustard crackers. So these are 4 points for the serving of about 14 crackers. It's 130 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 20 carbs, 2 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. And another one that's really nice for snack plates. These have great flavor on them. I love honey mustard pretzels and they taste exactly like that, but they're even more crunchy because it's like a cracker like this. So mostly I like to use them for snack plates, but then also sometimes mixed in my snack mixes. It's just nice to have some balance and have some options like this that aren't super high in points, but really satisfy those like salty, crunchy cravings I have. But that's everything that I got from Aldi today. A lot of new items that I'm excited to try out. And it's also nice to have a lot of these staple items that help me to stay on track. Like I mentioned, being back in all-in mode, it's just the best to have myself set up for success, have food in the fridge ready so that I actually have options. I'm less likely to want takeout or to want to come snack. And I just feel like I got a lot of stuff that should help me to stay on track. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll put the prices at the end of this video, so stick around for that. And thank you so much for watching.